Hey everybody, Mark Hanna here, the original Hothead Thundermouth, coming to you unscripted, uncensored, unapologetic, and psychologically immune from social media control. I'm here to do another Shut Up and Play. I've been presenting my opinions all over the place. It's time to shut up again and start playing. So this is a Burma scenario with the Japanese and Gurkhas and Indian Army units in ASL. The Japanese, as you can see in this picture, are scrambling around through Burma to try to cut off some British units and keep them from getting supplied. In the meantime, Gurkhas are on the way. Actually, there's also some carriers on the way and another group. So we got a group of Gurkhas and a group of the Indian Army coming up a hill. I'll describe all of this later, but it looks like a pretty exciting scenario with carriers. We've got mounted mortars in those carriers that look like they can take a pot shot to put some smoke up. That's what they're famous for, those British mortars. And the carriers are pretty well armed, so they're coming up to clear off a hilltop. Got to get those artillery observers gone. So that's what this scenario is about. I'm going to put the first couple of turns towards you here, so enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you soon. See you in the game.
All right, hi folks, Mark Hanna here, Hothead Thundermouth, coming to you again with another edition of Shut Up and Play, where I leave my vociferous and rather sometimes insulting opinions out of the commentary and I just simply play a good solid game, or at least I pretend to play, hopefully, a good solid game of ASL. Now, this scenario here comes from High Ground 2. This is a Bounding Fire Productions module, and it comes with two BFP boards, H and I. You can't see I off the edge, but there it is in there. So you got this big honking hill. They join together to make a nice hill location. And this is part of my theme, I suppose you could call it, of playing some Burma scenarios where the Japanese were coming in into Burma in 44 and they were attacking, and the British, they were defending these areas, and it was really an awful battle of attrition. And that's what this scenario is about. Here, what's happened is the Japanese, I think, have surrounded a certain compound area of the Brits. And what I can do is here, let me change the zoom here. There we go. I've changed the zoom and the look of this scenario so you can see they're defending the high ground here, interdicting British efforts to get through to the supply lines. But the British have organized a series of counterattacks based on their better mobility. So what you're going to see here is, in this game, some Ghurkhas, which have already been set up over here, will be coming on. The Japanese are set up in this hill. Now, they could set up anywhere on the hill. So what has to be done here very specifically is the British, I don't know if there's a hip Japanese unit there. Remember, the Japanese can hip 10% of their units, which means 2 full squads can set up hip on this map. And so I have to be careful not to allow any of these hexes shots at units that are coming. So I've got to send up a crew to check out this building, to check out, it'd be easier if I use this, check out this building here, make sure there's not a hip unit in here. Now, this one can't really see anything, so that's okay. So there's only a couple of hip locations that can fire down on here. So I've on this side, you'll see that I've set up and broken down a couple of half Ghurkha squads. The 648s are Ghurkhas. Let's go over here and take a look. So you can see that I've got a leader and two 3/3/8 that are to come up here, and they're just generally going to charge. To save time, I got to charge this building and enter it. Make sure there's no Japanese in there, or if they are some in there, that they got to fire at me. And if they do fire and kill it, the first guy's going in, then I could have another 3/3/8 that can come in here and pin down the first fire marker so they can't fire at anything else. Now, as the Japanese player, I've decided not to do this because my force really needs to stay and protect all level 4 hill hexes. The level 4 hill hexes are all over here. There's a patch of them right here, okay? And I've got a couple of hip units in the bamboo here. This is full PTO, so these are actually dense jungle, which is kind of unusual in such a sparse map, but EC or dry with no wind at start, PTO terrain is in effect, and it's not light jungle. Now, EC or dry, okay, so I know that, and there's no wind though. There are players who like to torch everything. If the EC are dry, that's an excuse for them to torch stuff. Something to be said for that. I generally don't go for the kindling approach to defense. However, I've been beaten on a couple of occasions by it, so I should not ignore it like I do. However, I'm not known to be the best defender in ASL, and I much prefer the attack. So what I've done is I've clustered the center part of the hill somewhat hidden from lower levels. So I've clustered most of my strength up here. I do get to bore sight. I'm terrible at bore sighting, but I've got some mortar bore sights here and there. Some MMG bore sights. If he comes up over the hill with his carriers, the British come on in turn 2 with 9 carriers coming in. There's a lot of those regular carriers and some mortar carriers. So these mortar carriers will be nice set up over here, or maybe on the edges, and mortar the center. Eventually what you'll want to do is smoke the center of this hill so you can charge up. But I've got a lot of 4.58s and 6.48s. The 6.48s are Ghurkhas. They have a long way to go. It's going to take them 3 turns to really get in range of attacking the edges of the hill. These guys with the carriers can get up there right away, or I can do armored assault up the hill. There's some easy avenues of egress in this direction, as well as in this direction. Since I've got the Ghurkhas coming and sweeping in this direction, from that way. I still got this on ×2, don't I? And put it on ×1. Yeah, okay, now you can see these Ghurkhas will be sweeping in up this hill from this direction. I'll probably send the bulk of the carrier force group off the map up this direction so I can get some encirclement shots and generally divide the attention of the Japanese. That's the basic plan. All plans never survive inception, so they say. There's 10 foxholes here. They're all off the map at the moment because they're hipped as usual. But they're basically everywhere you see some concealment markers, there's going to be a foxhole there. All right. So I have some outposts here with maybe some surprise hips to annoy him. Hopefully cause him some delay, not knowing where he's coming from. But, these carriers, you can see this. If I zoom in here, you can see there's a sort of a hedge here. What's this one? It's just a mark on my map from some putty. So this hedge here will prevent carriers from easily crossing it without at least trying a bog check. Although with their low ground pressure, they could probably get over that. But it is somewhat of a barrier. So my hope is that this area does have to be taken because the mission is to make sure there are no good order squads on level 4 hill hexes. 1, 2, 3. The dark ones. Sorry, I just had a bout of, I think, COVID, and my voice is going hoarse. That's why I didn't really make any videos last week. I was just feeling not so great. So, yeah, that's the plan here. Should be a pretty straightforward scenario. Turns, 6.5 turns. So the British have to demonstrate some effort to speedily move into position, with the Ghurkhas especially. So, as I said, I've not made any effort to interdict them. They're going to be pretty strong coming in as a group, and I just don't need to lose units, Japanese units, piecemeal on the flat of this hill that could rather be used to help win the victory conditions by keeping everything up here. So that's why I've done that. That's pretty much the overview of the turn. So that's how we're going to roll. So let me play a couple turns of this and get things rolling. So let me start by getting the snipers on board and stuff like that. Okay, so I did the first British turn movement here. Everything got exposed because this guy can see everything. 8, 12, 14, 16. So he can see everything that's coming through here. But obviously doesn't have the range to do anything. Which of course means that this foxhole is also spotted. So everybody lost their concealment. Now they've advanced. So now, because they're close enough to this has 2 blind hexes inherently. Then it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's got another 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is 1 extra hex above that at level 4. So it would only have 3 blind hexes, but these guys will be okay. They can conceal. It's my 9-2 Stackola. And there we go, making a mess of things already. Should use my tweezers, I suppose, but I never do. All right, then over here, let's check this line of sight quickly. I don't always pull the units off for these rough line of sight checks, so you can almost kind of guesstimate where the center of the hex is. With the string on either vertex, you can see it does hit this. Okay, now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hexes away. It's a level 2, so it's got 3 blind hexes, but only 2. So actually, these guys can be seen, so they cannot conceal. Which would be nice if I had thought to put a mortar over here, but I didn't waste any mortars. Probably should have. This is why I'm not a great defensive player. I could have put a mortar here, done some spotted fire or some direct fire, maybe got lucky on some shots, but I did not. Okay, so that's the end of the British turn 1. So now it's going to be Japanese turn 1. Let me go ahead and do a wind change roll. 7, no effect. So they have no shots. They're not going to have any shots. Will they have a shot? Let's see. These guys don't seem to have the... No, I didn't place any light machine guns with that stack there, so they won't have a shot at him. So there won't be any shooting. I'm not going to move any Japanese. There won't be any defensive fire. So that's going to be a very quick end to Japanese turn 1. It's not going to be quite the same as we now start bringing units in. Now, what's interesting here, let's take a look at this force that's coming in for the Allies. These are Indian Army units. These are not the Ghurkhas. But each of these carriers has an inherent half squad. Let's zoom in on this. Zooming in. Okay. So I've got, oops. So we've got a bunch of carrier 2-inch mortars. Those can come in. Now remember, these are vulnerable to machine gun fire, to mortar fire. They're hard to hit. But eventually, once you do hit them, they can be a bit fragile. Okay. Now, the British don't care about losses, but they certainly don't want to take any losses unnecessarily. So the first wave should probably stay at least 6 hexes away from any perimeter Japanese that looked like they might have a machine gun. For instance, this guy. I only have, oh yeah, I did use the balance provision here because I was looking at Roar. And in Roar, the Japanese are winning this a lot. So it must be hard to clear them out. So I removed a crew and an MMG as the balance provision. So there aren't any light machine guns, there's only mediums. So it's unusual to take a medium shot at greater than 6 range because you don't get the extra -1. And with these Japanese mediums with B11, not so good. So they probably won't take shots unless I'm close. So then that brings the idea, okay, so where do I bring these guys in? I really like this flat location here and here from this point. So the logical locations for the British mortar where I can lob some smoke on the hill. One here to lob smoke here. Another one here to lob smoke here. Okay, and another one over here to lob smoke up that side. Okay, so I'll bring on all 3 of those. Then I've got these mortars, the rest of these C carriers. And I got, so basically they can do armored assault with each of them. Is there any point in not bringing them all on to develop the defense? One could argue I could leave a couple back with the leaders, but yeah, I'm just going to bring them all in, and I think I'll bring them all so I can bring I think I'll bring in a batch of 3 on this side to this area and another batch of 3 to this area. Okay, hopefully being able to hunker down behind these hexes a little bit anyway to prevent, looks like there's a bit of a wall right there. Okay, this one here is at level 3 and it's going to give 1 blind hex to a level 2 behind it. So I don't think I can, and these will give a blind hex behind it. So I think I can huddle more or less 2 guys there, and the third will come in. Can't really hide behind this level. Oh yeah, I can hide behind this. So yeah, 3 here, 3 here to start. So that's what my setup is going to be. Let's do some moves and get some shots going. All right, okay, here's these guys set up off map. Now, these would normally be concealed. If you're playing against an opponent, conceal them. I can pretend they're concealed until they come on the map. So I'll put the concealment markers as necessary. But for the most part, they're going to be spotted by the time I get them to their location. So I would have probably pulled off concealment well before I get to a location. So those are the setups there. And the British are preparing to move over here. So as I mentioned, these are all well-armed. 6 machine gun firepower factors. Bow, coax, ACAC. That's pretty good stuff. So we'll see what we find out when we come in. And let's roll. So I'll probably interrupt the tape if there's any shooting. Probably will come in with the Ghurkhas over here first. See if they can draw any fire. This thing can go 2, 4, 6, 8. He's going to be able to start seeing stuff right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2 blind hexes, but I'm 2 levels above it, so it's just 1 blind hex. So these areas are exposed here, which means we might want to put some smoke out there to prevent any shots 2, 4, 6, 8 along this line need to be taken care of. Okay, so let me get started on some moves and we'll see what happens. I'll pause if there's any firing here. All right, let's take a look at the dispositions by the British over here. The Ghurkhas never got within range of the guy on the hill. He's 9 hexes away, so they just moved to those locations there. Yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to add 1, 2, 3 hexes. So he'll be able to see him up on the hill at a range of... He's got some light machine guns that can shoot from there. He wants to do that. Not so sure he will want to do that. But we shall see. Okay. Then, over here, the British have come on. It's quite a haul for these things to get up that hill, so the British mortar things were only able to get to here, and the other British, with the infantry, as you can see, got in their clusters, but not as far as they would have liked. So they revealed a few things up on the hill. I held fire as the Japanese to see what the clusters were going to be, because there's really not much of point in firing really at this stage to really start firing with defensive first fire. It's too far to do a subsequent attack, so just waiting to see where they went to. So there's a few shots that can be taken here. This guy can shoot at this, and he might be able to... Now this is level 3, that's level 2. That's actually a continuous slope to there. This being level 3 is going to have 2 blind hexes to that. Now he'll be able to see this because the crest line here won't be far enough away. So that looks like a juicy target because got the 8-1 in there. 8-1 tried to get up on the hill. So unless it clips that, which I don't think it will, as it clips that particular palm tree hex, I better make sure I'm getting a little closer here. Oh, it might. He's going to shoot that mortar, in which case he'll be revealed, because that guy will see him. So he's going to shoot. I guess he'll shoot. He won't shoot the mortar yet then. He'd shoot his inherent firepower. I don't want to waste a mortar shot and break the mortar on something that's not there yet. So he'll shoot inherent firepower. And, oh, does that mathematically go through? That might be a mathematical geometric thing that I should know about. It does mathematically go through that vertex. However, I don't think it blocks it because it is only one level. It's going to have 1 blind hex. So yeah, he won't be... Okay, so he'll shoot his inherent firepower first. You want to do that anyway if you want to maintain acquisition. So it's a 2 flat for that Japanese attack. And they will lose concealment there. All right. So let's zoom in on this action here. That's what we're going to call it. So we got a first fire. right here. Final fire, really. 2 flat. You roll. Is a 7, no effect. Now the main armament to hit, mortar needs 7 to hit with HE, and it'll need a, all of these are in motion, so it's going to need a pretty low roll to hit the moving guy there. I rolled a 3 though, and that's a +4 to hit the, so it hits everything. So we have played with the incremental, as I always do. So it's a 3 flat. That is the British sniper, so let's not forget to roll that. 3 flat with a 4. That's a 1 morale check. Nice shooting by that. 1 morale check, and it rolled a 4, which is a 3. It might do something to our poor, it's open topped, indirect fire versus that. I think it's going to be a -2, actually. All armored factors less than 4, -1, open top -2. On the 3 chart, I rolled a 4, so it's a 2 on the 4. And the 2 on the 4, sorry, 2 on the 3 is a K/2. That was going to be a turret hit. K/2 on the AFV to kill tables. Got to move around in my booklet here. AFV destruction for indirect fire equal to a K. Immobilized hull shocked on the turret. So I shocked it. Okay. And did a PTC on the infantry, but that's not going to matter. And shocked. Put a shocked marker on there. Okay, let me find that. And so the Japanese are off to a good start, shocking that unit. And then a 1 morale check. Leader rolls a 5. The squad rolls a 5. So they passed. And here's the sniper. British sniper. It was a 3. No effect. And we had rate of fire, so we'll shoot again to hit with that pesky mortar. A 7. It's going to miss the moving thing, but it will hit the infantry. No rate. It's going to only get a rate of 2. So 3 factors on the infantry. With a 2. Not bad shooting again. So that's going to be a K2. So let's see who's K'd. Leader's the yellow die. It is the leader, so the leader's wounded. Wound effectiveness is a 5, and boom, there goes a leader. There's no leader lost task check on that because it's a 8 morale unit, but it does take a 2 morale check to add insult injury. So I've got to get my Ghurkha dice. Boom, 2 morale check, rolls a 4. That's okay, but it is a Japanese sniper. Japanese sniper, a 5. Okay. Off to an exciting start. Now let's go ahead and put acquisition marker there for mortar H. Don't know if I need to large acquisition marker. I don't know if I have an H. All right, so I'll just put a D there. So where we go. Nice shooting. Okay, over here we have another one. Now this one's got a stopped mortar. Over here you can see the this in position. Boom. Boom. So this is a mortar carrier. And of course I can dismount with that mortar if that's what I want to do, or shoot with it as well. I think I can. Doesn't seem to have a rate of fire if I do that, though. I'll have to check that. Anyway, I want to try to take that out. So it's going to be a +2 to hit with this mortar underneath this foxhole. So it's going to shoot. And then over here I've got just a squad. He's not going to shoot. Okay. So here we go. Japanese 2-hit. Needed 5, and I rolled a 10. So not even close. And that's another mortar here. We'll put a -1 acquisition on that. There we go. Okay. And so that's final fired. Okay, so for advancing fire, not too exciting. I'll have a look at these British shots and see if they're worth it. Let me just pause the tape here. Okay, so there's one British shot that might be worth it here. These guys can combine with the carrier firepower to get a 6 up 3 here. There's a CX guy underneath there, but I need to fire him in order to fire group with the carrier, which can act like a half track in that sense. So 6 up 3 is barely worth a shot to see if I can't whittle it down. It's a 4-4-7, so yeah, I think I'll do it. 6 + 3. 6 + 3. And I rolled a 3. Nice. So that's a 1 check on that Japanese unit. And it rolls an 8. So, well, we did stripe it, so it was worth a shot. Okay, good shooting there, Ghurkhas, back in revenge. Okay. So now we'll do the advance of the Ghurkhas. That's going to be easy. We're going to advance up. So let's go ahead and put this at a ×1 zoom. We advanced up the hill to here. These guys will advance. They'll advance there. They'll be able to do some concealment rolls, as nobody will be able to see them in that case. These guys will be seen. This guy, though, will have blockage because this will be 1, 2, 3, and this is at a range of 2. Yeah, so it'll be 2, so he'll be blocked from LOS. Okay, then over here, well, I certainly want to get out of any annoying situations here related to, now let's see, I'm going down over here. So yeah, we're going to advance this guy up, this guy over, try to avoid that acquisition over here. Got another guy there. Okay, this is obviously no longer in motion. This one is, and this one is. Oh, so he would have been halved. Huh. He would have been halved to a 1.5. I would have had 1.5, 2.5, 4.5, and I rolled on the 6 table. It would have been a normal check. Yeah, this guy would not be, he would have just been pinned. So he'd be like that. Okay. Sorry, Ghurkhas. You illegally shot your emotion guy, so you don't get that. Okay, so those are the advances there. Here, might as well get going up the hill. Over here, up underneath that, we'll send this leader with the CX guy. Might as well lose both of them there. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, get him on the road here. So I don't know if you can see that, what I'm doing over here. There we go. Got it really zoomed in too much, don't I? So yeah, I advanced underneath this one here and put that one there as well. And of course, all of these guys are always CE. All of these are in motion. And that's that. So that's the end of their turn 2. All units have been brought in. Let's take a wide range look. So the Ghurkhas are here. They'll be in attack range next turn. They can get to these palm trees or even further. I'll have these scouts make sure there's nothing in there before I advance further up this hill on that side. This mortar guy should be able to make it where he needs to go. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he'll make it into position. He'll make it into position. We'll be in a position to start assaulting on turn 3, giving us a lot of turns, but not a lot of chances to take losses. So it's going to be instrumental for these Ghurkhas in 9-2 and 9-1 to do the heavy work. And it should be an interesting battle once we get to this cluster right here of guys on the hill and guys that are hip that are not known. Okay. All right. So that will end turn 2, and it'll be turn 2 for the Japanese. So we'll stop here. I think we've got enough tape to load up. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and take care. Take care of yourselves.